Hi, this is Stacia, and I wanted to share a video of a game that I played at the Parma Chess Club this past Tuesday, which was May 29th, 2018. And I played the white pieces against Roy Allen Bumpers, um, rated 1501, and I was rated 1630 at the time. Okay, and very interesting game. So I opened with d4. He played d5, c4, and this is the Queen's Gambit. And now Roy surprised me here, which I think was a good choice. He played the move c5, and this puts us into an Austrian defense, which is a little rare, but I do see it. I see it enough that I know it, but I don't know it nearly as well as the other lines. So I take here, this is the main line. And now Roy played knight f6. And during the game, oh, he's not going to take the pawn. This is actually the 100% book move. So I had a feeling I was supposed to play e4 here, which, if you follow theory, then you do play e4 and you kind of like sack this pawn, and the line goes like this. I have looked at this before, but I knew enough to know that it gets a little crazy and I should know the theory if I'm going to play this. So I didn't feel comfortable enough to go for this. Instead, I played a safer move, knight f3. And this is totally fine. This is going to be useful in pretty much all lines, and I'm defending the pawn. And now, and actually it does state that this is theory. Oh, I didn't realize that. So c takes, I think it transposed into another line. I didn't realize this earlier. Yeah, he should take here, and now queen takes d4. This goes right into a main line, I think. Yeah, this looks very normal for the Austrian now. Okay. Yeah, so this transposes into what looks like a main line, as far as I can tell. But I don't want to focus on the opening. Let's continue. All right, so he played bishop g5, or bishop g4. Turns out this move is out of book, and it's probably a mistake because now white has a couple good moves. But the best one is one that I found, and I did have to think a while before playing this, but knight e5. So there is no pin, so you can just move the knight, and now I'm attacking this bishop, and my knight's pretty well placed on e5. The bishop's looking kind of silly just staring at my pawn, although this pawn is pinned. So Roy went bishop f5, and now knight c3, just developing. I also wanted to cover the e4 square. I'm hoping to play e4 at some point, if I can, without playing e3, to keep the range of my dark square bishop. But, okay, Roy took on d5. So I knew that pawn really sort of, it's not smart to try to hang on to it. I'm not even sure I can. So that's fine that he took there. He is threatening to take this knight, although I don't think it matters that much yet. But I take that back because it matters very next move. So here I played e4. And after I played it, I was like, wait a minute, did I just blunder a pawn? And in fact, I did. Turns out that, white sacks this pawn in a lot of lines, but the way I did it was probably not best. But it still is okay here. Lucky for me. So Roy did the logical thing. He takes the knight, which defends the pawn. I take back, and now he wins my e4 pawn. So I think the downside for black here, and the reason white is still actually sitting well, sitting better still, is that even though the bishop is sort of well placed for the moment because I can't develop my light square bishop, At the same time, f3 is going to be a tempo move against the bishop, and it just seems like white is going to have an easy time developing. So like my light square bishop already has scope, my dark square bishop has scope, my queen has scope. It's going to be pretty easy to finish my development. Um, so, and black is not situated quite as well, right? I mean, if this knight comes now, I guess that's okay. But like e6 needs to be played. That's going to trap the bishop outside the pawn chain, which is probably okay. Yeah, so I don't know. White's, I don't know. If I was assessing this position, I would think white's a little bit better, even though being down a pawn. Computer says white is +2, so very interesting. But let's continue. Here I played the move bishop a4 check, just because it looked a little bit annoying since this knight is covering these squares. Turns out there's a better move for white. And if you want to pause your video and see if you can find the best, most precise move for white here. Okay, and it's actually the move queen to g4. And this is a move I want to remember because I find it interesting. I considered it during the game and decided not to play it. But it does a few things. It puts pressure on the g-pawn, which might make it hard to develop the dark square bishop. It eyes the d7 square. This might become important. Tempo move on the bishop, obviously, and also guards this g-pawn. So the queen is doing a lot of stuff. It's also developing the queen, so we'll be able to connect our rooks faster. So very interesting move. And it gets very crazy too. So like let's say that black plays bishop g6 here, which I think looks logical at first. Now white has bishop e5 check, and black is already lost. After something like knight c6, we take on c6, b takes c6, bishop takes check, and now the problem is the king has no squares. The only move is queen here, but now checkmate. So as you can see, this gets pretty devastating right away. So so you can't go to g6, but bishop d5 is okay here. And then here, again, bishop e5 check, knight to c6, and now c4, tempo move on the bishop. And this is still a pretty good position for white. If black's careful, they can still be sort of okay here, but white's definitely better. Like c takes d4 is interesting. So now this knight is undermined. We can take the bishop, but queen takes. That's a fork on the bishop and knight. Bishop f4 can be played. It's kind of fascinating because you can't take here due to checkmate. The knight interferes with the defense of the d7 square. Yeah, I don't know. So basically, white is up a piece, but down 3 pawns in this position. So this pawn is a pass pawn, and also majority here. So kind of interesting, although white is better just due to better activity. Okay, so let's go back to the game. I played queen a4 check instead of queen g4, which would have been a better move. And now Roy played knight c6. Here I inserted the tempo move f3. So I wanted to play bishop b5 or maybe bishop c4. But if I did that, the bishop would have took the g pawn. So that is why I played this. He went to f5, and now I wanted to play bishop b5, but I thought after bishop d2, black's actually not that bad. So I decided on this sneaky little move, bishop c4. And I had to figure out if a6, b5 is a threat, because there is that fork. But the idea behind this move was I want black to play e6, because I'm threatening to take this pawn. If he plays e6, then there is no bishop d7 anymore. So that was the idea. E6 was played, and now what did I play here? Okay, I went knight takes c6, b takes c6, check. And now this is annoying. Black wishes they could play bishop d7. The problem is you can't block the check with queen d7, because then I'll play queen takes a8 check. So the black king gets disturbed here. So, and I thought I must be better here. And yeah, computer says +5. So I won the pawn back, and I've got a lot of activity and scope for my pieces. It seems dangerous for the black king. All right, so here I took the pawn with check. A logical enough move. There's actually a way better move, which I was going to have you guys guess, but yeah, I looked at this move during the game. Bishop g5 check. Very interesting, because I thought after f6 that maybe it wasn't so good for me. But here we have queen b7 check. And again, the black king's just short on squares. I mean, if he goes to d6, he's just going to get mated after bishop f4 check. And now he's really in trouble. So yeah, e5, d takes e5 check, f takes e5. And now castle's queenside. How do you like that one? Yeah, so turns out bishop g5 check was very strong due to the way that could follow up. Um, Unfortunately, I didn't find that, but I still did okay with queen takes c5 check. Roy played the best move, queen d6, defending. Note that if I take the queen, I'm probably doing okay, um, but the black king is active in the endgame, and maybe black's doing all right in that line. And I just thought it would be more annoying to keep the queens on the board. So I play this move, queen a5. It's not precise, but it does have a threat. And I believe Roy did see that move, so he played king to f6. And now this is probably the losing move, just because, um, well, I have too many active pieces, and the king's going to be short on squares over here. I have pawn pushes. So, okay. Oh, and then, of course, the move that I played in the game, g4. So, yeah, it's a tempo move. I had to really figure this out. I don't like to play moves like g4, like pushing pawns in front of my king, but here I have a concrete threat. I'm going to win the bishop. The bishop can't move because I have a mate on the g5 square. So the bishop is actually pinned, and white or black should play something like queen to c6, attacking my bishop. Although black's pretty much lost no matter what. Even in this case, I'll play bishop d3. And again, the bishop's pinned, so we're attacking the pinned piece. And line might go like this. Bishop takes f5, e takes f5, and now white has a really nice sacrifice to win. Bishop g5 check, king takes, queen check. Yeah, pretty much mate. And if the king goes the other way, it's also mate. Yeah, the same mate. Queen h5. So okay, but in the game, yeah, Roy pulled back, and So I got to play Queen G5, checkmate. So interesting game. I thought the Austrian was a good choice, even though it didn't work out this time, just because it is a tricky opening, at least in this line. And yeah, and I don't know that I always find attacking or mating type moves, so I'm happy about the way I played this game. And Roy, if you're watching, which hopefully you did watch, sorry I shared this game. Not your best, obviously. You're an excellent player, so um, I'll be sharing a game in the future where it has a different result. So, all right. So thanks for watching, and please like, subscribe, comment, and have a great day. Thanks.